Halo. Assalamualaikum dan selamat malam semua. Terima kasih kepada sesiapa atau kepada semua managers yang join FPL Jedi Show episod 11 pada malam ni. Untuk makluman semua, Alhamdulillah akhirnya saya dan juga Azmin kita dapat live stream untuk during midweek lah. Selalu kita live stream during game week ataupun before deadline, during the weekend, pada hari Sabtu ataupun Jumaat malam, but I think we always plan want to live stream all our show, and Alhamdulillah today we did it. So I would like to welcome my co-host Azmin. How are you? How's your feeling? Our live stream midweek. You're on mute.
Assalamualaikum. I'm excited. Admittedly saya lah sebab yang punca kenapa selama ni belum lagi go live midweek ni. Saya
Bukanlah.
takut sikit. Tapi okay, I mean I think it's good. At the end of the day, yang saya risau lah sebelum ni sebab bila kita record lepas tu ada gap between kita record dengan kita publish, and dalam gap tu banyak sangat berlaku. Contohnya last week dalam gap tu Lukaku injured. It's such a big news, so it's frustrating sebab bila orang tune in to watch our video later, Lukaku kan dah injured, kenapa lambat ni, kenapa dia tak update. So I think that one is a problem for us, and well, firstly for me, I felt and I feel bad for people watching, rasa macam tak update up to date at the point in time that you watch the video, and that's why kita decide to go live lah, one of the reasons. Waalaikumsalam rakan FPL, khabar?
Okay, good.
Okay, I think we've lost Hafiz. Hafiz, can you hear me? Okay, I'm not sure. I seem to have lost Hafiz. Let me see if I can get him back. Okay, sebelum tu tak apa, sementara I check on Hafiz, kita start dulu. So sekarang ni game week 9, apa cerita semua? We've seen that game week 9, what's the biggest news? The biggest news is of course Salah scoring a hat-trick against Manchester United, di mana Manchester United kalah kepada Liverpool 5-0 di Old Trafford. So obviously orang yang those of you yang captainkan Salah, memang your ranks will definitely go up. The main other captaincy aside from Salah candidate was Havertz, and Havertz memang tak mengecewakan when you consider that Chelsea menentang Norwich and menang 7-0. Okay, Hafiz, are you back?
Sorry, I have connection issue. Inilah dia risiko live stream.
Okay.
So
I was just talking about how in terms of the captaincy, what was the main difference for game week 9. So ramai yang captain Salah and he got a hat trick, and the other big option was Kai Havertz, because he was clearly going to start as a false 9 against Norwich. Unfortunately, he blanked. So it's a shame. And there I see another comment by Zul Harrison. If you could put that up. Hafiz, can you put it up on the screen? Yeah. So he captained King from Watford. So another guy who scored a hat-trick. So
power lah, aku tahu pick kau bro. Kau berani nak captain Joshua King away to Everton. Power.
And the third person who scored a hat-trick was Mason Mount. Yeah, and really annoying, which is really annoying for those who get Havertz. hat-tricks. Yeah, so 3 hat-tricks. So for FPL, scores 100 plus tu macam norm for quite a few. But for those who didn't, 90s plus is still okay. But you wouldn't have Captain Mount, and Josh King maybe also quite rare. Tapi I just want to say that for those yang Captain Havertz, I think both me and Hafiz both Captain Salah for this. But for those who Captain Havertz, I know you may feel a bit down. Tapi jangan putus asa. It's still only game week 9. There's still plenty of time to make up. Memang you will see that it can make a big difference. Those if you have that differential that pushes you up, and it's still early, so there's still plenty of time. So don't worry about it.
Okay. Aku nak komen sikit kat Zul ni. Power lah kau Captain King lah ya. Sebab attacking, tapi tengok nasib aku Sar 5 gol, takkan Sar tak ada buat apa-apa. Sian lah kat aku ni. Anyway, that's the comment from everyone. I think Azmin dah sentuh sikit kot. It's a very big week on game week 9 baru-baru ni. 3 orang on hat-trick. Salah is on our radar pun. Mason Mount yang tak sangka, orang langsung tak pernah fikir. Havertz yang dikatakan patut ada involve anything lah dalam goal atau ni sebab dia main false 9 punya role, menggantikan tempat Lukaku. Nothing from him, mengecewakan. And then King, itu King ni memang power lah kalau you ada pilih. King ni pun kita pun not sure kan macam mana kedudukannya bila Ranieri take over. So well done to everyone who did that lah ya. Okay, Min, kalau kata next time aku ada connection error, kau proceed lah. Aku pun not sure, maybe my line ada a bit haywire malam ni. So let's
sorry, go on.
So why not we dive straight into game week 9, apa yang kita nak cerita pada malam ni? Okay? Alright, good. Okay, aku ada problem tak boleh share screen pula. Aduh.
Take time. No rush.
Alright. Can you see, man?
Yep.
Okay, yes. Good. Yep, as normal, what we're gonna run through is our own team punya review. Bagaimanakah kita punya performance last week. Dan kita akan buat some match analysis sedikit. Siapa yang perform, siapa tak perform, siapa yang patut kita on the watch list and sebagainya. The third one, kita akan sentuh sikit bagaimana kita nak balance asset Liverpool, Man City dan Chelsea yang ternyata mereka adalah player-player yang para manager akan berminat untuk bawa masuk ke dalam squad. Tapi persoalannya, berapakah player daripada setiap pasukan yang patut kita bawa masuk? Adakah patut bawa masuk macam Chelsea 3, Man City 3? Tak mungkin, habislah duit kan, memang tak boleh lah nak masuk semua. And then kita akan run through game week 10 punya fixture. Okay, for this week, what's the captain pick, ataupun mungkin benda ni tak patut ada sebab kita dah jelas siapa. And then the transfer plan, apa yang kita akan buat this week. Okay. And again, we would like to dedicate our credits to fantasypremierleague.com, fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, fantasyfootballscout.co.uk and livefpl.net. All the sources are coming from here. Thank you. Okay, Min. Let's go to your team first. You got 91 points after wildcarding. I'm certainly you are happy, man.
Okay, so I'm not upset. Obviously, I went up rank to 150k odd. I can't. I'm frustrated because if you see that I have a bench of Livramento and Huang, both who scored, and they are stuck on my bench, and quite a few 1-pointers in Cancelo, Mbuemo, Rafinha, and then obviously the other candidate for captaincy was Havertz, who did nothing except keep a clean sheet. But the good thing is I also had 2 Chelsea defenders that both started, and I think this also made a big difference. Salah captaincy fine, But the Chelsea defender issue, because those who had Azpilicueta, who was totally benched, he was rested. Yeah, and he's a popular pick because obviously he's been doing well. He even scored as well. And then the question of Alonso versus Chilwell now seems to be settled. It does seem like Chilwell is now first choice, and he has scored 4 goals in a row in all competitions, which is
termasuk
quite
Champions League
impressive.
lah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not really what he's supposed to be there for. He is there as a defender, but that of course helps his starting chances. Rudiger returned to the starting lineup and kept a clean sheet as well. And the good thing about Rudiger is that he is a goal threat. He does seem to be a goal threat, and because one of the problems I had was trying to choose James over Rudiger, so I ended up going for Rudiger. James obviously scored 13 points, I think it was, but Chilwell scored 12.
Yep.
So it's okay, but I mean the thing is, at the end of the day, how I decided was on certainty of starts, and I was more comfortable with Rudiger starting more regularly than James. With James, the worry for me is that Tuchel might do a horses for courses policy. Tengok match up and decide how to play, and this is something that he does for Chalobah. So Chalobah, who's a Chelsea defender, whose FPL points is quite high as well, but he only seems to play the easier games. So for the harder games like Liverpool, he doesn't play, which is quite interesting. But because of that, he might not be a so popular pick, and that's why Rudiger came in. Everyone else is fine. For me, the most disappointing was Ings, because I chose him over Vardy and Kane. So that was the biggest decision I had to make. But of course, we all know that Vardy got injured and subbed out at halftime, and Kane blanked. Ings blanked as well. So in the end, there was no because the Aston Villa Arsenal match came first. Was the Friday night match. So after he blanked, so of course Saturday and Sunday was a bit of a worry for me. But in the end, Vardy and Kane still blanked my other options. So in the end, my frustration was still on my bench. But otherwise, I'm quite happy, except that now we need to figure out, and I think you have a similar problem. Rafinha, whether or not he'll be fit, and I also have Mbeumo, who is also yellow tagged. And the worst, at the time we screenshotted this, Raya wasn't injured. Now he is. He's out until March. That's 5 months.
Itulah, aku dengar berita tu macam tak percaya Raya
5
out.
bulan
Then definitely it's a concern for you lah untuk make changes lah, I suppose.
Yeah. I think we can talk about
it. Let's walk through my team. I punya points a bit below than main, iaitu aku dapat 88 points. Although my ranking still naik sikit daripada 390,000 kepada 343,000. So I should not be I'm not happy. Cuma ada sedikit frustration in terms of Rafinha, kita dah simpannya banyak. Aku dah simpannya banyak kali. International break tak main, simpan. Bila time lawan Wolf pula injured 1 point. So aku rasa macam frustrated dan fikir macam betul ke aku nak simpan Rafinha ni kalau macam ni. Kalau lawan Norwich this week dia tak main, lagilah. Itulah match yang kita patut target, and dia tak main, memang aku akan sedih sangatlah. Okay, so that's on Rafinha. Aku rasa aku bawa masuk Havertz pun sedih sebab dia tak ada involved, but we still have 2 matches lagi untuk dia perform lah, so called away to Newcastle and home to Burnley. Hopefully he does something. In midweek, I think last night he did score during League Cup, so that is a sign yang dia mungkin boleh perform. Okay, sedih sebab Watford score tapi nothing from him. He been sub out minit ke 60 lebih, so mengecewakan juga. Bawa masuk Vardy 1 point, half time keluar, aku lagi langsung daripada tengok match tu, lepas tu kata tukar tengok match West Ham lawan Spurs lah macam tu. So dah aku tengok match tu, then Tony does nothing. He got another goal offside, tapi that's all that he did. Another thing, Antonio, I think everyone still has, but aku ada tengok team wildcard mana yang drop Antonio already and thinking of fixture West Ham menjadi lebih sukar lepas ni, tapi dia still perform lawan Spurs, so I don't think we should consider yet lah to drop him lah because he's still performing. The rest, Sanchez memang concede 4 gol lawan Man City tapi still got 4 points, so I wouldn't say I'm not happy. Even lawan Liverpool this week pun maybe just play him, I don't need to worry. Aku tak ada option lain nak main Foster sebab aku memang tak ada Foster. Aku ada terfikir kalau nak wildcard ganti Raya dah out. Lepas tu kalau Ramsdale, now looks like Arsenal also conceding goal, so maybe Sanchez in the end is the right keeper at 4.5 4.6 million. Maybe don't overthink. Brighton still has some good fixture after this. So bench everyone has Livramento. Aku ingat Cancelo tak main tapi dia main, tapi Man City concede, so 1 point is okay. Shaw je lah -1. Tak tahulah bila aku nak buang dia ni.
On your wildcard. But it's
It's
so expensive.
Yes, harga dia makin lama makin jatuh, so aku banyak rugi dari segi macam saham lah dengan dia. Daripada 5.5 dah jatuh 5.3. Kalau dah Manchester United kalah 5-0 itu, ramai orang lagi bawa dia keluar, habis lah price dia. But we are going to talk about it later. Okay, man?
Okay.
Alright. So, kita just run through siapa best 11 pada game week 9. Aku terkejut juga tengok Martinez dapat 10 point. Walaupun concede 3 lawan Martinez at the best. He concede 3 but still dapat 10 point. No wonder he's at 5.5. And then like you mentioned, Chilwell and James perform 13 lah. Kau betul, 13 points. Chilwell dapat 12 point. And these are the Chelsea asset defender lah. Maybe you will talk later lah on the radar to be picked lah, untuk dipilih lah masuk dalam squad. Cresswell dapat clean sheet and assist lawan Spurs, dapat 12 point. Mount hat-trick, Salah hat-trick, Foden 2 gol 1 assist, 18 point. Yang mengecewakan Havertz tu satu lagi sebab patutnya aku nak bawa masuk Foden. Lepas tu dah ada peluang nak bawa masuk Havertz, bawa lah dengan harapan dia score hat-trick. Last Foden lah yang dapat. Cornet dapat 15 point, 2 gol lawan dengan Southampton. Maybe we should be thinking of him. Keita 13 point, Liverpool player. So tak pernah disangka-sangka, tapi sekarang dah sentiasa main ya, Amin. Liverpool punya player, betul tak?
Nabi kita. Yeah, he is. But itu, I mean, no, but because one thing, Fabinho was out as well, so. And you know, we had Milner, Henderson, and Keita, and I rather not have Milner there because you know.
So Keita ni apa pendapat kau? Adakah patut kita letak dia sebagai watchlist atau ni tak patut lah, ini just ni once in a while dapat 13. Lepas tu lain selalu tak dapat apa-apa. What do you think?
Well, we can talk about that one later for in the Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea asset thing. So we can maybe talk about that then. But the Cornet thing is for Burnley is something to think about, look at. You know, are Burnley starting to find their goal scoring, which they has been out totally for like 7 weeks or something like that. So, but the most amazing is the two up top. Yeah. So the most amazing is those two up top. Berapa?
Tak tahu lah berapa juta, 6 juta ke? Kalau 6 juta cheap lah.
Cheap dia, Burnley. Then you have King and Dennis kat depan.
Ayo, dapat skor pula tu. Rasa Dennis masuk second half ke? Dia dapat macam ni punya point. Yes. Tak silap lah.
Aim in for Sar.
So, itulah. Patutnya bagilah Sar ni, tapi kenapa dia warna merah tu? Sebab dia dapat kad dan dia akan digantung next match ke? Kalau tak silap lah.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, 5 yellow cards. 5th yellow card. So suspended for this one.
Baru main 9 kali dapat 5 yellow card. Power betul Muhammad ni. Okay. So 16 king, dapat hat-trick. So these are the best 11. From this best 11, ada siapa-siapa ke yang patut? Yes, this one is essential. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, obviously King tu is now an opportunity as a cheap striker option if you wanted to, for those who don't have him. And you know, especially when the expensive strikers are not performing at the moment. Vardy might be injured, Kane's not performing. Siapa ni? Lukaku's injured. So you know,
Cuma ni lah, Watford punya fixture agak teruk lah. Okay, mungkin minggu ni dia lawan Southampton dan after that macam-macam team top 6 lah dia akan main. So
But the other factor is that we remember we discussed this last week about Everton missing Doucouré, missing Mina. So there was a bit of lack of discipline in the middle there, and it totally fell apart after Dennis came in. So I mean, obviously on the Everton side, I would expect them to toughen up. But the more importantly for Watford in this case, you know, is Ranieri's revolution beginning? Is it just because Everton's defense are out, or are Watford really starting to improve? We all know they got battered by Liverpool the week before, but you know, are they now finding that way? And it's interesting. So, and another thing I wanted to point out is, I think Zul Harrison mentioned that they changed the attacking the structure a bit. So I think never mind, we can talk about it in our match analysis later.
Okay, let's go jump into match analysis. Okay, just a bit key takeaways. Daripada 10 game, hanya 3 tim sahaja yang menang at home and away ada 4. Okay, tapi yang paling best sekali lah, I think this the easily highest goal scored in a week. 40 gol. Selalunya aku tengok 20 lebih, 30 lebih, ni 40. So memang gol flow this week 7 gol, 5 gol, 5-2, 5-0, 3-1, macam-macam. So we can see this week really good week if let's say you got the right player yang score lah. Okay, so why not we go straight early kickoff on Friday night. Arsenal lawan Villa 3-1 Arsenal menang. Okay, and then we can see there Aubameyang score, Partey. Tapi yang menarik dekat sini lah Emil Smith Rowe goal and assist. So that is something that back into radar. 5.5, 5.6 player, million player, yang mana mungkin ramai kata betul ke tak. Then dia perform this week. They have some still decent fixture, okay, to play, Leicester, Watford and so on. So I think that's a good thing. If you want, katakanlah Mbomo injured, you can easily swap for Smith Rowe at the same price. And then for Villa, Ramsey score and Bailey. Macam kau mention Min, Bailey mungkin akan dia patut under our radar. So you can see what's your comment?
Okay, Arsenal, I got to give credit to Arsenal. They really, stuck it in, and I think the youth in that team helps as well. You can see the desire if you watch the match. I watched I watched the first half, and after that,
bagus.
Yeah. So for Malaysia, it was 3-2, 3:45, and I didn't bother watching the second half because the reason I watched was obviously because I had Ings. But at the end of the day, I was so disgusted by the way Aston Villa played because it was terrible. Memang, because they're currently trying this 3-5-2 formation, but it doesn't work. They're trying Watkins and Ings both up top, doesn't work. And I ran into a lot of Aston Villa forums, everyone's talking about that as well. And if Dean Smith seems to be on the stubborn mode at the moment, and he thinks that this is still the way to go. So, and it contributed to the defeat. So I'm a bit worried about Aston Villa, and I'm a bit worried about my Ings pick. But on the Arsenal side, has Aubameyang now become come back into contention? Adakah sekarang kita perlu consider balik Aubameyang? Sebab you look at that, 1 goal and 1 assist. Selama ni kita memang asyik, tak kisah sangat Aubameyang sebab ada options lain. The other options were Sorry, I think we lost Hafiz again, so no one will get back. uh, because we have Emil Smith Rowe and Saka. Yeah, so these are the cheaper picks. So these cheaper picks are taking, and of course we had the defenders who are also viable, and people have Ramsdale as well now. So Arsenal are starting to slowly shift back into the reckoning after totally being ignored at the start of the season. Do we need to really seriously look at it? And I think Saka didn't score. He was quite unlucky because for me, obviously, although Arsenal won, and then people look back at Emil Smith Rowe and think that we should go for him instead. But at the end of the day, I still think that Saka should still be, if you have the funds, I think you should go for Saka because he's the one who has the most attacking intent, and I think he will prove in the long run more value. Obviously, in this match, Emil Smith Rowe was the outstanding pick, but I think that in the long run, if you're looking at the other cheaper options, I think Saka will be the better bet for you. Hafiz, you back again? Are you okay?
Itulah, aku pun internet problem lah. Okay. So aku suggest Saka over Smith Rowe, ya. Okay.
Yeah, I would still go for Saka over Smith Rowe. And the problem with the thing is with Aston Villa is also much to do with Aston Villa as well. And that I think Zohar also mentioned about the formation issue. So yeah, connection tak bagus antara the midfield and the striker. I think that's what he means. Yeah, and yes, Leon Bailey didn't start again because they're still building on his fitness. So once he's fit, it's impossible for them to play that current formation that they're playing. Yeah, so they don't have any proper wing backs either to be playing 3-5-2. So the main takeaway is to start really seriously considering Arsenal assets. And earlier just now I mentioned how Kane tak perform, Lukaku's injured. Well, what about Aubameyang? He's cheaper. Vardy. Yeah. So yeah. We know that Aubameyang, if he's in form, he will score. Last season was a bad season, but once he starts scoring and he's confident, you can see it. He will. Scoring.
Betul, Aubameyang at 10 million and only owned by 4.7% manager. Why not? Yeah. I believe he's on penalty.
Yes.
So maybe should be a consideration. Thanks for the advice, Min. We go straight to Chelsea lawan Norwich. Norwich ada keep 2 clean sheet before this and ramai mengatakan without Lukaku dan Werner mungkin Chelsea akan struggle untuk score goal. Nampak gayanya tidak. 7-0. Mount dapat hat-trick, nak kata laki ke tak laki, dapat penalty, save penalty, lepas tu suruh ambil retake lagi. Memang rezeki dia lah. Mount dapat hat-trick, Chilwell score, James score, Hudson-Odoi, then Kovacic siapa ada? 5 juta ke 5 juta lebih, dapat 2 assist. Rudiger kita ada, Min. Bila aku tengok dia tendang kena tangan, aku minta lah penalty. Dapat 1 assist. Tapi yang paling untung sebenarnya Mount lah that week 7-0. Havertz sub out lepas dah berapa gol aku tak ingat, 4 gol ke, then dia tak dapat involve, so agak mengecewakan owner macam kita. So adakah Mount, kalau kata orang tak ada Chelsea asal lagi, patut bawa masuk this week?
Okay, so where Havertz is concerned, I think he's just desperately unlucky. I really cannot say that it's wrong to pick him, because when you look at all of the all the conditions that caused us to go for Havertz, it's all correct. It all made sense, and it's just that he just didn't score in the 7-0. I think this happens. I don't think we should be too upset about it. Obviously those who captain him are more upset, but I think hakikatnya is sometimes it's just bad luck. Yeah. 7-0, everyone around him scoring and he does nothing. I don't think we should worry too much about it. But at the same time, okay, we'll talk about Chelsea more, but at the same time, Norwich continue to be a team to target. The thing is, I think the problem is right now they are at the top of the fixture ticker at the moment in
Yeah,
terms
yes,
of
yes,
favour.
yes,
But
yes,
then
yes.
judging from the way they are right now, I can't see myself picking anyone at the moment.
Not even
Until I see.
Buki? Not even
No,
Buki?
not even Timo Pukki.
Okay. No wish asset kecuali kau nak ambil filler like Brandon Williams untuk letak bench nombor 3. Tu je lah. Ataupun maybe ni 4.5 Norman. Ada orang pick juga kalau tak nak pilih like Brownhill ataupun Gilmore macam tak nak main je kan. Okay.
Okay.
So we go to Leeds lawan Wolf. Game ni ramai orang nak tengok macam saya, Rafinha. Sekali lagi dia mengecewakan, kena sub out. Tapi pada Wolf asset, Huang score, Jimenez assist. So another return for both of them. Where people are doubting Jimenez still deliver. Aku ada kawan Hafiz Fizal letak dekat bench Jimenez. Aku kata betul ke kau lawan Leeds letak kat bench? At least dia produce assist. So sorry bro, your decision wrong. So any comment, man?
Well, the thing with that one is that Wolves were not playing very well. They didn't really get as many chances, as they should have with their team that they have. So it's a bit of a concern for me. But I have to admit, Leeds were playing at home, so they are stronger at home in that sense. Wolves scored later.
Last kick of the game kot, something like that.
So the thing is Leeds are again missing Rafinha, so it's going to be a big problem. So it's hard to see what I can do, but I expect Wolves will continue to improve. And those I disagree. Yeah, you shouldn't bench if you have Jimenez. I don't think you should bench him. Huang, the reason obviously with Huang is cheaper, so I felt that at a cheaper price, you're fine. I'll bench him, and although he scored, but I think we've established that the next match Wolves are at home, and I think definitely you should field them. And Huang and Jimenez do seem to work well together. So
aku rasa next game kau confirm lah bagi main Huang ni.
Yeah, I have a benching issue, so we'll need to look at that.
Okay. Let's go to Southampton lawan Burnley. Broja sekali lagi score. From last week punya game pun dia score juga. Livramento last week assist. Minggu ni dia goal. I think we cannot consider Livramento to bench anymore. He's so attacking. I think we should play him despite his price tag of 4.2, 4.3 now. Okay. Tapi yang susahnya ialah kalau kita ada Diaz, Cancelo, Chilwell.
Yeah, I think with Southampton now the issue is Broja does seem to have secured that starting spot. Assuming he's fit, he will continue starting. So it's bad for those who have already picked up Adam Armstrong, and you might want to see how they go in the EFL Cup to decide whether or not to play him. But it's not looking good at the moment for Adam Armstrong. For Burnley, yes, again, we mentioned Cornet earlier, and how he seems to have galvanized that Burnley attack a bit more. So now I wouldn't go far as to start moving for Burnley, but if Cornet is the main man for Burnley, then maybe we should, because if you're going to pick up one person from one of the poor teams, but you want it cheap and someone who will bring it all for the team, then Cornet might be the way to go. For Southampton, yes, Livramento, I can't believe I brought him in and I still benched and nothing, and as a result he scored on the bench. So if you don't have a benching issue, I'll definitely start Livramento, and I'm trying to start him as well, but I need to figure out where to put him on my bench. Okay, so Zul mentioned Cornet akan jadi macam Gallagher, awal-awal je lepas tu blank terus. Okay, so let me address that. So on Gallagher, the issue was at the start, Milik Jovovic wasn't playing. and now Milivojevic is back, so he's actually taken set pieces off Gallagher that he was previously on. And the other problem is that now when they played in the last match, Gallagher seems to be playing further back now, so it's an issue.
Okay. Alright, I think apa yang Min ada cakap tadi, okay man?
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah.
Aku ingat internet connection aku out tadi.
Tak, sorry, just I had to deal with something. So Gallagher, I remember I actually picked him in my squad previously, so I might have to step back now that when I wildcarded I don't have Gallagher anymore, so remains to be seen whether he came up, because he's no longer the main man for Palace anymore, which he was at the start. Now other players have come up. Eduardo, even Benteke has started finding some form.
Aku rasa boleh ambil Benteke apa ni?
Yeah, Zaha didn't even play. Okay, but Crystal Palace isn't even on this slide anymore. Let's
okay. Nanti kita jump kat Crystal Palace lepas ni, okay?
Yeah.
So the next one, kita pun ada cakap pasal Everton lawan Watford. Watford score banyak. King ada 3 gol, Dennis even assist 2 assist yang mengecewakan Sah, okay? And then for Everton, Davies score, okay? No in goal involvement for Townsend, tapi Gray ada 1 assist. But let me say it, a return of Richarlison, dia masuk dan dia score. So I'm not sure whether Richarlison should be on our radar, but Everton mengecewakan, 2 kali kalah back to back at home. Last week dengan West Ham, this week lagi teruk lawan Watford. So is it a worry?
No, I think that we mentioned about Doucouré not around, Yeremina wasn't there as well, so it was a bit all over the place in terms of the defense. But I do feel like Rafa Benitez will be able to turn it around. They don't have the best of fixtures coming up. They play Wolves. Wolves. Actually, yeah. I mean Wolves. But they're playing it at Wolverhampton. Then you have Spurs. Okay, Spurs. This might be a good or bad matchup depending on how you look at it. Yeah, but then you have Manchester City. So Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal are all in the next 6, within the next 6. So it's hard for me to see myself picking Everton players at the moment. Watford.
So if you have Everton asset, should we jump off the ship?
Yes, I think we should. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. Let them find their rhythm back again until we consider them.
Yeah. Maybe lah kalau kau ada Townsend atau Gray, kalau rasa macam ada benda yang lebih important untuk buat, we can still give lawan Wolves another match. But then Spurs, City, Liverpool and Arsenal in the next 6 a bit tough to justify lah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go next match. Yang kita cerita tadi pasal Gallagher, Crystal Palace lawan Newcastle. Saya expect Crystal Palace menang, kalau tak menang besar pun at least 2-0 lah lawan Newcastle, but in the end it's a 1-1 all. Wilson score again from last week, so dah back to back goal. Benteke pun score lagi. So adakah patutnya kita just go Wilson atau Benteke instead of big premium forward?
Okay, I mean it's very hard for me to say for Benteke, but the thing with Wilson is despite playing for Newcastle, he has the best. If I read it correctly previously, sorry, can't bring the stats up here, but from what I read, he has the best goals to minutes ratio. So he's missed quite a lot of games through injury, a lot of minutes, but when he comes in, he tends to do well. So if you're willing to risk that injury issue, as then I think you should go for it. I think Wilson might be another decent option for strikers. And when you look at it in terms of the fixture list, they have some. They're actually on based on Fantasy Football Hubs. Among the next 6, Newcastle are 3rd on that list. So obviously they face Chelsea out first, But after that, it's Brighton, Brentford, Arsenal, Norwich, and Burnley. So I think these are, it's something that maybe not this weekend, but next week is something for us to relook at it. I don't expect to see a revolution happening at Newcastle. They will probably still concede a lot of goals, and it's just they didn't against Palace. But attacking wise, with ASM and Wilson together, I can definitely see goals coming in there.
Yalah, kalau kata tiba-tiba Newcastle dah berjaya appoint manager whoever is it lah, then maybe Newcastle can really be in our radar lah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, Brighton lawan Man City. Seperti biasa kita tahu dua-dua pun kalau boleh nak main dia playing style punya football. Brighton still are not going to defend. They will try to play their game, tapi kalahlah 4-1. Foden dapat 2 gol. Okay. Grealish dapat assist. Jesus dapat assist. So it could easily be a goal from Jesus. Terkena badan, Foden dapat gol. Foden assist. So then no return to KDB or the likes of Sterling and so on. So
KDB was benched in this match, so it was quite like memang terkejut juga. We didn't expect that to happen. The Alistair goal memang frasa those who have Manchester City defenders because it was last minute. But it does basically those who went for 2 Chelsea defenders and 1 City defender generally won over those who went for 2 Manchester City defenders and 1 Chelsea defender. Obviously, you needed the right Chelsea defender. But Foden, again, obviously there was some luck. The second goal came, which originally was for Jesus. Then on closer note, apparently it came off his bum. So he got the second goal. Gundogan coming back into reckoning is interesting, but Mahrez was benched, came on, scored again. It was quite lucky for those who had Mahrez because they were obviously annoyed when they saw they're gonna bench. But fortunately, he came in and scored. Bernardo continues to getting points. Yeah, and Grealish contributed. Jesus, but the main story for this one is obviously Phil Foden, and I think plenty. I think so. Everyone's kept holding back. A lot of people kept holding back, but I think now the bandwagon is on full force.
I can tell you lah, Foden and Mason Mount is the bandwagon now.
Yeah. So see you this weekend where he'll be sitting on the bench. This is bad. So I mean on my side, because I was one of those who considered Foden on my wildcard, but I decided not to. And I can't say I regret not going so, even though Foden did score, because I just wanted to not be worried about dia nak start ke tak start ke, so I was a bit frustrated with that and decided let's just go elsewhere for it. Obviously those who went for Foden, they need some balls, but okay lah, I mean, I'm happy.
Okay, all right, good. Maybe you will talk in the detail on the next topic on Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea asset. Brentford lawan Leicester, yang mengecewakan game ni lah Vardy. Okay, sub out during half time. Kita pun tahu yang Brendan Rodgers later dia share yang sebenarnya during warm up Vardy nampak macam ada tweak sikit. So then but he decides to play and then ambil kau half time kena sub out. So better lah tak main dia dan bagi Livramento macam aku ni bawa masuk kan, but that's football. On Brentford side, they continue kalah lah tipis, but still give fight, but kalah West Ham, now Leicester. So lawan siapa Chelsea, okay, then Leicester. Both are tight match, but after this Brentford will have some good run. So maybe this is just but Tielemans did score again. So should Tielemans back on our radar ke?
Yes, I think he's continuing to perform, and I think he's already caught the eye of a lot of big European clubs. So so I think he will continue. He's aware. I'm sure he's aware of that, and I think it's something to consider. Yeah, especially if Vardy looks like he's going to be out.
Okay, Mbomo pun sub out, mungkin injured, but maybe not nothing to worry. Minor, maybe.
Mbomo was as frustrating as ever to watch, for those who have him, because they got a chance score tapi tak score, a chance score tapi score. We don't know. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not he's fit. People are saying he's fit, but don't know. We don't know. So we'll have to find out.
We'll see on our deadline show lah. Alright.
Yeah, he won't play for this weekend, but he may be available for. Yeah. So we'll
Okay.
see.
Alright. West Ham lawan Spurs, memang dua-dua ni pun we can say mid-tier team, but they still can perform. Antonio scored a goal. Nothing from Benrahma or others. Benrahma aku dah drop, nasib baiklah. Okay. Spurs, Kane atau Son doesn't do anything. So in terms of that, siapa yang jump into Spurs asset, still nothing yet. So what's our key takeaways from here, man? West Ham lawan Spurs.
The thing is, even though Antonio scored, and obviously I took him out for my wild card, but if you watch that match, you can see that Antonio is nowhere as fast as he used to be. His perception is off, his timing is off. He looks tired, even though he's not playing the midweek match. He's not playing in Europe. He's being saved. In League Cup definitely he's not playing. But I mean, for me, I don't think he's gonna have those explosive points anymore, and so he's no longer as essential, even though obviously he scored in this game and won the game for Spurs, but it's hard for me to not regret leaving him out. Spurs on the hand, I don't know. Kane looks again, talking about body language, Kane looks like he's not interested, or he's not getting the service, or he's I don't know, it's hard to make it out. Gosh, I mean, it's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean kalau you ada Spurs asset because you jump in for wildcard atau you bring in because Lukaku out, you just stay this week lawan Manchester, which we're going to talk next. Itu Manchester lawan Liverpool. If you are Manchester United fan, okay, it's a bit hard untuk telan berita kekalahan ni. Aku pun tengok live match ni bersama cousin aku. I think Azmin is a happy man. Okay, we already know Salah is on form. We didn't. I don't think we expect him to score hat-trick, but he did in this game. Manchester United agak tak karuan lah, atau dia punya structure team dari segi ni. They really want to give a fight. Tapi Liverpool too strong, I think. For Manchester United, Ronaldo nothing, even ada offside goal tapi tak dikira. So Jota perform, score and assist. Siapa yang drop dia, mungkin kalau drop during the game dia sedih lah juga sebab dia dah perform in this game. When we talk about Firmino might actually do the damage. Okay, the sad thing is Mane is bench. Nasib kau tak ada, Amin. Kalau kau ada mesti kau kata apalah ni dia bench pula during this big game. And then Trent clean sheet and assist. 10 points from him. Okay, man, what your comment?
Okay, just a quick one on Mane. I can see why Klopp benched him for this one. It's not really to do injuries, because when he came in, you saw that the chance he got, where he went up top, all he wanted to do was score. It's just like despite it not being the best decision for him, there was better options. Yeah. So for me, then I do start to wonder whether Mane will be taken out against the bigger teams. So I mean, that's a concern. But at the end of the day, one of my biggest concerns pasal Liverpool ni is injuries. Okay, so Naby Keita, we saw he's injured. Milner is out, and it's a worry. And you could see during the game that Manchester United was starting to get frustrated and start whacking Liverpool players. I think Fernandes was lucky not to get sent off. Ronaldo, he kicked ball into Curtis Jones' abdomen, and you can see, it was out of frustration. He wasn't trying to, because look, if you Ronaldo, you're a skill player. He's a skill player, right? If the objective there was to get the ball, that power is not what's needed to grab the ball off Curtis Jones, who was on the ground.
Yeah,
you need some technique to use so that you can lift the ball off Curtis Jones and take it. But he kicked a power kick into the ball into Curtis Jones' abdomen. So you could argue he only got a yellow for that, but the intent was there. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm worried, because we know that Fabinho is also injured, but I think he's coming back. But we're starting to look thin because we already lost people like Harvey Elliott. So we don't want to lose more again. So I'm a
So
bit worried. Okay.
one question from me.
Hmm.
If let's say other managers still have Jota, should we keep him?
Yeah, there's plenty of argument to keep him. Yeah, Jota for me, he's joined the. Okay, we'll talk about more detail later. But Jota for me, he's joined the classification of Manchester City midfielders. You know, in terms of will they or won't they start? Will they or won't they start? So if you're happy to have that risk, then yeah, you should. Yeah, then go
Okay.
Jota. I mean Jota over Firmino simply because Jota is cheaper and he's listed in midfield compared to
Midfield,
Firmino
yes.
as striker.
Yeah. Yes, more points as a midfielder. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We already ran through all match for game week 9. So what is our next topic is this is your topic, man, on the balancing Liverpool, Chelsea or Man City assets. Over to you.
Okay, so this is from Fantasy Football Hub. I compiled this from courtesy of Fantasy Football Hub Opta tool. So what this is basically a ranking of all the Liverpool and Chelsea assets minus the keeper, and on how in terms of their game time and in terms of how much FPL points they scored. So Salah, he's double than the second place of Cancelo and Alexander-Arnold. So and every team should have Salah. So even at 12.9, he's the most expensive strike back. But if you don't have him, wildcard, take a hit for him, and he's in such hot form right now that it's impossible to. It's incredible if you choose to go without him.
Yeah,
Captain or no captain, that's a different discussion. Okay. So now we go into the second tier, which is around the 40, 50 pluses. And the first thing I want to highlight is we remember we talking about Mane, and then Mane suddenly got benched.
Okay.
If and to an extent that goes for Jota as well. This is for Manchester. This is for Liverpool. I don't think you have to worry about Firmino so much. I don't think he's going to really get at his price point. It's just too tricky. Yeah, but what I want to say is that is Jota. The question is Jota really worth it in that sense? Because you have to deal with that uncertainty. And if you wanted to pick, okay, so you have Salah, you have Alexander-Arnold. Who would your third Liverpool player be? And why shouldn't it be Virgil van Dijk? Okay, at 6.6, Liverpool's defense is decent, would be underwhelming, but he has scored and he plays in every match. He is very unlikely to be benched. If he benched, it really is, there's really something serious before he's benched. Yeah, and his points are currently at 47, and which is higher than everyone else except for Mane, Alexander-Arnold, and Salah, and the first two we should have anyway. So there's a case here that I know that Liverpool are attacking, but there's nothing to say that Virgil van Dijk won't score a goal either. If he scores a goal and keeps a clean sheet, is even more. So that is the first thing I want to do, because if you're worried about that Jota issue or Firmino issue, then why not go for Van Dijk instead? Yeah, and the security of starts is there. You can see he's got 810 minutes compared to Jota 595 minutes. So in terms of security of stats is there, and for a cheaper price, so you can invest 6.6 in spend a bit more on defense and spend less elsewhere. Okay, so that's Liverpool. Now Chelsea, let's talk about Chelsea next. So Chelsea, the question is that midfield, there was always the issue of who's going to start, and at one point it was Mount wasn't starting either, but now it looks like Mount's starting, and with a hat trick in the pocket, I'd say at least start for the next few. Now obviously his points are not as much as others, but you would need to consider that you have Kovacic there, and I think someone in the chat last week mentioned is Kovacic, and I said no, I don't think so. But the thing is, he's an ever-present in Kovacic. I think he's only missed one match, and his score keeps ticking over, and somehow he always gets in the assist. He manages to sometimes scores a goal, and but he's also capable of assisting.
Itulah Min, bagus juga kau letak table ni. Aku tak sangka juga the best Chelsea asset is not defender or who is Kovacic at the point.
I know, at 5.3, right? It's quite incredible when you think about it. But But for those of you who, but you, a lot of people like myself went for 2 Chelsea defenders. But even that Chelsea defender side is a question. Okay, we mentioned just now that Chalobah will seem to only be there for the easy games. But there's an argument that says, why not go have him because he's cheap? You can spend money elsewhere and then bench him for the harder games, because for the harder games, Chelsea might not keep a clean sheet anyway. So he won't get, those points. So you can argue that Chalobah is not an attacking player, so he's not going to get much attacking. But then he's just there for the defensive. And then, and for those matches that he's benched, he's not, he may not, for those, Chelsea might not keep a clean sheet anyway. So maybe you should go there. Okay. So then you have Chilwell. Okay, Chilwell is right almost at the bottom of the table now. But for personally, I
sebab dia missing banyak game pun.
Yeah, so but I feel that he scored 4 goals in a row in all competitions right now, and Alonso has kept threatening to do that but never did. So Chilwell's now gone in, and I think that Chilwell has pretty much locked on that spot on the left wing back. However, on the right wing back, I think that's the problem. It's still a problem. I don't think Reece James is confirmed in that spot, because you got Azpilicueta. Okay, last week he was benched. He should be coming back. He can play in centre back as well as James, as well as that right wing back position. So it's a problem. Rudiger, I feel he's the most secure. So I went for Rudiger over James, and although James ended up scoring more because he scored a goal, I'm not upset with that. I feel that Rudiger is still going to be the best pick long run. And I mentioned earlier that I feel that James is going to be subject to the tengok match up. Kalau match up melawan ni, main James. Kalau match up lawan harder, maybe we won't play James. I feel and I strongly think that that's what's going to happen with James. Okay. So Lukaku obviously doesn't appear here because he's even further at the bottom. So don't worry about Lukaku just yet. But yeah, for me, the best picks for Chelsea at the moment are Rudiger, Mount. Okay, because Mount is definitely security. So you want those two if you want. If you don't want Havertz, okay, Havertz doesn't appear in here either. Yeah, Havertz is good as a short-term pick for now, but when Lukaku comes back, we're not sure. And if for the third defender, I would still go for Azpilicueta. So Azpilicueta, who was it? Rudiger and Mount. Those are the 3 picks for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kovacic tak nak consider ke?
This is the problem, you see, because we know he's playing as a box-to-box midfield. He's at the back there and he does a lot of defensive work. I mean, maybe
when you put this in the table, aku macam lagi nak consider Kovacic. Sebelum ni aku macam buat tak tahu dia.
Me neither. Now, I agree. Yeah.
Now you do this table and I see Kovacic is the top player in terms of points for Chelsea. He's also macam daripada 9 appearance only so-called sub in lah kan. The rest just start. So maybe I should put more consideration. 5.3 dia boleh rank, dia boleh in terms of price range, Mbomo, Smith Rowe. So within and maybe I should put more consideration after this. If let's say
so cheap.
And kalau katakan put him as the fifth midfielder or bench him lah. Tak ada susah.
Yeah, not an issue, right? Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, finally Manchester City. Okay, Manchester City is always going to be a problem because of this Pep. To a lesser extent, that problem is also Chelsea as well. So for the defense, I think it's still Cancelo and Diaz who your mainstays, and then you have Jesus, Mahrez. Okay, Mahrez doesn't appear here again because he's not clocking enough time to.
So maybe we should consider Jesus walaupun dia main out of position instead of forward. Asyik main right wing je.
Yeah, but the thing, so for me, Jesus seems to have nailed that right spot. Mahrez is not the first pick anymore. But Mahrez seems to be playing in Champions League and doing well. I don't know. This is a tough one. 8.6 is such a tricky price point.
Yeah. So kalau macam ni boleh juga ya. Kalau Vardy out, tak nak pergi Aubameyang, we can consider Jesus as short term juga. Betul tak?
Yeah, betul. And if you remember last week, I was considering that third striker spot, Ings, Jesus, Aubameyang. So, but in the end, I went for the one that didn't do anything. But Jesus, you see, he had an assist. He didn't get any bonus points. So I don't know. It feels expensive, especially
Tapi
when you
itulah,
got.
takut nanti bila dah pilih dia, tiba-tiba dia bench, kau akan mengamuk tu je lah.
Yeah, so that's the problem because you have Phil Foden staring you at the face, right? Pick me, I'm cheaper. I mean, playing in midfield, but I'm playing like a striker. so I mean, the main concern with Foden again, will he continue to start? But looks like he is. If he doesn't start tonight, and I don't think he will, then he'll be a pick. But if he starts tonight, which will be mind-blowing to a lot of people, that if he continues to start, is it because he's a locked-in starter, or is it because he doesn't need to, or is it because they're going to bench him in the weekend?
Yalah. Man City, as you know lah, they will always have element of risk.
Yeah, so on my part, okay, KDB is down below off the table because he hasn't been scoring enough points. Similarly to Mahrez. The other person who's there though is Bernardo Silva. So I think I mentioned this last week. Yeah, so he's taking over the points. Yeah, but not explosive. The problem is, but he has scored a hat trick before. Yeah, okay. But his current position, as with Foden in front of him, he doesn't. Maybe he feels he doesn't have to be that, much of a goal threat. So in any case, so the conclusion I have with this one for Manchester City is I have no conclusion at all. I still don't know. I don't know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. With the because currently I feel that if I wanted to go strong on Manchester City, it'd be on the defense. The stats have shown that Manchester City have they're really good in terms of defense. Their structure, their positioning. They rarely concede a lot of shots. So Cancelo and Diaz, who seem to be secured, blocked in, so go for that. As for your midfield or attack, that's your guess is as good as mine. Because as much as Foden looks great, I can't really confirm that. Who knows what Pep will do.
So thanks Min for your insights. Aku rasa from here aku nak just buat conclusion. Kalau aku nak pilih Liverpool asset, nombor 1 is Salah, definitely. Kalau tak ada Salah, bawa dia masuk. Nombor 2 is TAA, whether you like it or not. Kena mahal gila, 7.6 juta. But he's the second most best for Liverpool asset, that I can say. He has potential of clean sheet and also posting any threat in terms of chances created ataupun free kicks and so on. Okay. Then the third one, we can debate, but like you mentioned, maybe Van Dijk is the one lah, on the third one for Liverpool asset. For Chelsea, even though Kovacic nombor 1 kat sini, but maybe defense is the one thing that we should look at, like Rudiger and Azpilicueta. But with Mount coming into our radar, he could be the next best thing lah, on the third spot. Then on Man City, we can only guess, but I can say Cancelo and Diaz is the top 2 lah. And then you can pick whether Mount, Bernardo, depending on your Bernardo, Foden, or depending on your appetite.
Risk appetite. Yeah. I just want to point out the one more thing though. If you look at that list, who's the most expensive player after Salah is actually Mane. But at 11.9, when you have so many other options who are scoring almost the same, why would you go for Mane? And I'm someone who had Mane previously. It just looks impossible that you would want to go for him now when there are other cheaper options scoring.
Mane 50, Salah 107. So we know who's the winner lah. 2 kali ganda daripada Mane. Okay.
Yeah, at Mane's price and with Salah there, I expect Mane to score like 99 or something.
Yep. Okay, I think itu saja kan untuk balancing Liverpool asset. Okay, we can go to game week 10 punya fixture. Okay, Min?
Okay, yep.
Okay, so aku just read out apa match untuk this week. The early kickoff on Saturday. It will not be on Friday night, the deadline. It will be on Saturday. Leicester lawan Arsenal at 7:30 PM. And then kita ada pukul 10 malam, kita ada beberapa match, 5 match to be exact. Burnley, Bradford. Liverpool lawan Brighton should be an easy game for Liverpool. Aku tick green. Man City lawan Crystal Palace. Man City should be on the advantage. Then Newcastle lawan Chelsea, which is on form after 7-0 win against Norwich. Then we have Watford lawan Southampton, could be a high scoring game juga. On the tengah malam Sabtu, Spurs lawan MU. So that is an interesting one, okay? Whether Manchester United can bounce back from their heavy defeat dengan Liverpool. Then on Sunday, Norwich lawan Leeds. And then we close on Monday night at 12:30. Is that Monday atau Ahad malam?
Ahad malam. That's Ahad
so
malam.
actually Ahad lah. Hari Ahad lah. After Norwich lawan Leeds, lepas tu Villa lawan West Ham lah. Correct lah?
So it's a short weekend.
Yep. All will be played on Sunday lah paling ni. So any game that you want to talk about?
It's tough for this one. I mean, that Chelsea Newcastle, obviously we expect Newcastle to lose, but Chelsea, but they may score with Wilson or the Watford versus Southampton one is interesting because it's to answer that question: is Ranieri's bounce going to continue? And the thing is, most people now have Livramento on that on there against the horde of Ranieri. So is Livramento going to keep a clean sheet? Maybe not, but is he going to score goals? Maybe, because Watford still are conceding goals. So, but it's interesting, and it's tough for like you have for those holders of Ismaili Sarr. Watford won the match after he came off, and it seemed like they just shifted around a bit, and he seems to be playing a bit further back as a result. So I don't know. We saw last season at the Championship he was the main man, but we expected him to be in the Premier League, but now with Ranieri coming in, that may have changed. So we don't know. So I mean, for Sarr holders, I would think that you would still hold, and let's see how it goes for this match before you make the decision, because at the end of the day you probably want to get rid anyway because of the tough matches, but still, is Ranieri's bounce back real? We don't know. So that's one. The other one I just wanted to highlight is that Spurs Manchester United match. So we're talking about, at the moment, Spurs, a team that can't score, versus Manchester United, who can't seem to defend. With Spurs, the main man, which is Kane, he looks totally out.
Yep.
So I don't know what the. So I don't know in terms of right now how to pick players, because again I'm still interested in Kane there, if that Manchester United defense is going to look terrible, but I don't know.
Okay, so kalau kata ada orang berminat dapat masuk Spurs punya asset, would you suggest yes?
It's tough. Spurs play their match later tonight, so we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, fair. Aku macam berminat nak bawa masuk if I have the money. We see how it goes. Kalau Manchester still doing badly, or Varane confirm out again, so maybe there is a temptation lah. Okay, mungkin ada temptation untuk bawa player lawan Manchester masuk, because Ole definitely wants to bounce back, but we'll see how it goes. Manchester fan mesti they want some reaction. Okay.
Yeah. So the Norwich Leeds, the thing is, it's the thing with Rafinha is that even if he is fit, obviously those who have him, you should keep him for this match. But if I wouldn't bring him in on a wild card against this one, because I don't know, because
sebab aku ada dengar juga expert atau ni doktor yang katakan bila dia tengok injury Rafinha, walaupun Rafinha kata ada post into Instagram ke atau di Twitter ke yang katakan dia okay, tak major, but they believe the injury looks that he might be out for a while. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, okay. Well, he's out.
So itu yang kita nak confirmkan this weekend. Okay, kalau dia confirm out, I think Leeds lawan Norwich punya game ni tak nak bawa siapa pun tak berani. Harrison ke James ke, I'm not sure. So maybe we stay away.
The problem is everyone else seems to be out of it. If Rafinha seems to be doing all the heavy duty work, which is not good for Leeds anyway. And Norwich is going to look at this match. Okay, we need to kickstart our season. Is this it?
Betul. Mungkin they can win this game.
because Norwich has a really good run of fixtures, and Daniel Farke will be targeting, getting points from the next 4 or 5 matches.
Okay, all right, Ben. I think that's our takes on this week punya game. Kita pergi next one topic, which is the captain pick for game week 10. I'm not sure whether we should be discussing this, but we know that everyone is picking Salah as the captain pick for this week. Liverpool pun lawan Brighton. Aku pun tak ada letak candidate lain untuk captain pick this week. Vardy mungkin out. Foden playing against siapa tadi? Crystal Palace, which can be hard rock under Patrick Vieira. Havertz not sure whether he can deliver, still uncertainty. De Bruyne pun main ke tak main. So it's a clear cut. Salah knows as a captain.
Basically, you're gonna really be really brave to not captain Salah, and obviously this is all set up for Salah blanking this weekend. But yeah, I mean, but it's hard not you really have to be a real differential to pick someone like Foden or even Havertz again, who play Newcastle.
Aku rasa takkan ramai berani punya. Kalau tiba-tiba Liverpool menang lawan Brighton, another hat-trick from Salah, kalau you tak captain, like my friends yang tak captain Salah this last week, they all memang really annoyed. I can tell you that. And then because I don't think
like because the other people who hat-trick last week was Josh King and Mason Mount, but the people who captain them are very few and far between, because when you compare to someone like Salah, why would you captain?
Aku ada kawan yang captain Havertz and also ada captain Vardy. They are really pissed off.
It's okay. Move on. It's there's nothing you can do now.
So with that, aku rasa everyone will captain Salah. I don't know. It will be a brave manager not bet against him. Itu saja aku boleh cakap.
He's just on fire.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to our transfer plan, Min. What you gonna do this week after wildcard? Do you will keep your transfer, or would you do any since you need to address Raya? But
yeah, so right now I'm still I'll be waiting on injury news. I expect I'm probably going to field Foster for the weekend, so I'm not going to make any changes to my goalkeeper. I need to see whether Mbeumo or Rafinha are out or not, because both of them have good matchups anyway. Actually, if you look at my squad, everyone seems to have a decent matchup. No one has a bad matchup except for maybe Ings, who's playing West Ham.
I will play him at home against West Ham.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the problem. So, I mean, it's a good problem to have, and it's easier if Mbeumo and Rafinha are both out for the weekend, and it's fine. But of course, if I just stick with this and not do a transfer, because there's always that temptation, I can easily go for Rafinha for Foden, for example. I could go Rafinha for Son. I could go Ings to Kane. I can do it. So, but is it the right move? Because will whoever I bring in score more than the people who I can have play? And let's say if Rafinha is out and I sell him for Son, who do I move from the first 11 into the bench?
Definitely Livramento first, because he's the cheapest.
I mean, but I mean, to be fair, I only brought in Livramento last week on the World Cup, but how many fantasy managers out there yang tak kena burn sebab letak Livramento kat bench, lepas tu tengok dia assist, tengok dia clean sheet, so and score, and last week score. So for me, it's like, fine, I'm sticking it out there. And yeah, same goes for Huang, who I benched last week. So I'm putting it out there.
Kalau aku tengok line up ni, Huang confirm main at home against Everton, baru concede 5 gol kot.
Confirm main. Yeah, we don't know. Wolves can expect. The thing is, I do expect Benitez to, work hard on that and repair that defense. But it shouldn't, if people like Doucouré are still missing, then, I think Everton will still concede.
Okay, so you're leaning up not to make any move lah, right?
Yeah, probably.
Even
Foden's very tempting, I admit, but I might just hold.
Okay, good.
How about you?
Let's go to my team. As you can see here, I also have problem on Rafinha and also Vardy. We are not sure whether Vardy is fit enough to play early kickoff on Saturday some more against Arsenal. My team, I will play, I have no choice. Sanchez will be my keeper. TAA, Rudiger and Cancelo. If let's say one of them will not be playing, especially Cancelo, kalau kena rotate, then Livramento, I'm happy to just play him. I think I will give him another match. Rafinha, kalau injured, I will talk about that later. Havertz, I will keep. Salah captain, Tony and Antonio. Okay, this is my consideration. If let's say Vardy and Rafinha out both, I could take -4, okay, which I will so-called distribute my money to midfield and upgrade Rafinha to Foden, and then I could downgrade Vardy to say lah, yeah. I could have option really downgrade to Broja, or I could just pick another Man City player, which is Jesus, like we mentioned before. So then I could actually take advantage if let's say League Cup Man City playing tonight against West Ham. We see how the lineup is. So if they say that's the option, but if let's say Rafinha and Vardy is fit, I might just play this.
You just love keeping your transfers. So I mean, obviously subject to injury news, but if let's say Vardy and Rafinha are out, I mean, I would recommend you just switch Vardy out and leave Rafinha in, simply because of you still have Livramento there on the bench who can do your work for you, and Brownhill and Shaw are both starters anyway, so they may come in if necessary, which could be for if someone like Cancelo gets randomly benched. But so because I feel that if you take a hit, you may not get the return that you want.
Okay.
If you didn't have to take a hit, then maybe not. But if you had to take a hit,
so if let's say Vardy out, who you recommend? Who would you recommend? Cadangan.
Well, the guy playing on the other side, Aubameyang.
Aku memang tak pernah terfikir dia, tapi mungkinlah kita patut put him on radar. Lepas lawan Leicester, then next week against Watford, which is interesting.
Yep.
So that's about it. Another thing that I shared earlier before this show dengan Azmin ialah I could reconstruct my team and play my wild card. I can take advantage of Sanchez playing Liverpool, and maybe I just switch still to Foster and play him like Azmin want to do. TA and Rudiger and Cancelo and TA will stay, but I could take another advantage by switching Rudiger to Chilwell and try to get points from attacking instead of Rudiger. Another thing that I can do. Then I could change my entire midfield. Rafinha, Havertz out, Mount, Foden, Son in. I can do that. And Son lawan Manchester, maybe Manchester will lead some goal. Tony and Antonio will stay, but Vardy I could downgrade to Huang atau Broja, something like that. So I will make some changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. So maybe I can do that and downgrade Shaw. Get him out. It's time for him to out. Aku dah lama sangat simpan dia. What do you think?
You want to rombak? Yeah, I mean the rombak is possible, but I do still think that you do have a working squad here. Okay. Because if you don't have any further injury issues, then I think just taking out Vardy for someone and then you still have a good team. And when I look at your squad, I don't see anyone who have bad matchups. They all have quite decent matchups anyway. Antonio plays Aston Villa, who we saw, they didn't really do well either. They seem to be struggling with have a bit of identity crisis. But I don't think it's necessary for you to wildcard this week because you managed to resist wildcard previously in harder situations, and now you're here. And I'm envious that you are able. It's possible for you to keep the wildcard. So I would suggest you keep it unless further injury issues come up.
Okay, Thanks for your advice. I will consider all options and we'll talk again during this weekend. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So kita dah habis kita punya show. Just to remind our FPL managers, our deadline for this week will be on Saturday at 6 PM. Okay, as we mentioned, early kickoff adalah antara Leicester versus Arsenal. So be mindful of that. Okay, so if you like our video and please give a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel FPL Jedi Show. Okay, do support us dan insyaAllah we try to keep this up. Kita dah berapa episod dah ya Min? Dah 11 tak campur deadline transfer punya show.
Yeah.
So ikut easily dah maybe 20 show, I don't know. So we intend to keep up, I think I mean. So insyaAllah we try to do that. Okay.
Yeah. I'll try not to be depressed whenever my score goes down, ranking goes down.
Okay, sekejap Min, sekejap.
Okay.
I will stop sharing. Okay. I think Azmi has something to say. Silakan.
Okay. So obviously Malaysia has a big fantasy football community out there. I think we talk a lot with each other. So ada just a little bit of sad news and actually it's happened previously, but there are a few fantasy managers yang dah meninggal dunia or pass away during this season, and the latest happened, I think it was yesterday or the day before. So there's 3 people, and I just want to share because I think it's sad that we have these yang meninggal dunia for whatever reason. I don't know whether it's COVID or cancer. So these are so for the Muslims, we actually doing a bacaan Yasin. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so for tomorrow night kita akan buat majlis bacaan Yasin dan Tahlil untuk ketiga pengurus fantasi, iaitu Sahiman bin Sahrom, Shafiq, Hadzammuddin bin Mansor dan Huda binti Bacho. And di antara 3 ni yang saya kenal adalah Huda binti Bacho, atau nama dalam FB-nya Dilora Delila. So memang sedih dan berlaku yang beliau meninggal sebab leukemia issues, kanser darah lah. So saya ni dalam persatuan pengurus fantasi bola sepak Malaysia. Saya sebagai seorang ahli, and memang tolong sama-sama bersama komuniti anjurkan majlis bacaan Yasin dan Tahlil. Dia akan diadakan live secara Google Meet. Nanti saya akan letak link ni dalam YouTube description kemudian, dan juga dalam FPL Jedi Show punya Facebook. So siapa-siapa yang ada masa kelapangan untuk orang Muslim boleh join sekali untuk baca Yasin dan Tahlil untuk mereka.
Okay. Thank you Min. Bacaan Al-Fatihah kita sedekahkan kepada Allah Riyaham dan juga Allah Riyahmah yang telah pergi. Okay, especially untuk community FPL managers, berita sedih kepada semua, especially on the community. Thank you Min for sharing this. InsyaAllah siapa yang berkelapangan boleh join this session lah ya. We try to support the community. Saya pun sendiri dari segi community pun saya masih asing lagi ya, to consider Azmin lagi biasa. So it's good that we share this thing, we try to support each other and for the better of the community of FPL lah, especially. Okay. Okay, Amin, itu saja. Okay, thank you Min. Thank you to everyone for being with us tonight. Live stream kali ni macam ada ada isu juga in terms of my connection itself. Minta maaf banyak-banyak. Okay, bila nak live stream tu, you tahulah risiko begini boleh ada, but I think insyaAllah we try to keep it up. Okay Min, looks like we are fully live stream now, no more recording. So our input yang kita bagi will be real time so called, and then apa-apa input ni kita habis the video ni you can watch it again and again kalau berguna lah ya. Okay. Harapnya kita beri konten berguna untuk panduan you all semua inside our FPL page, FB page ataupun kita punya YouTube channel lah. Okay, I think that's all from us tonight. Okay, akhir kata, may the force be with you. Okay, and see you again this weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.